guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with a bins haul. It's a pretty solid day. I only had like an hour and a half that I could stay. I had just like a jam-packed day. So I was in and I was out. I think I've got about 30 pieces, maybe 35 from the bins. And another day this week, I woke up with like the yen to go to a thrift store. And I'm one of those people that like, you know, I do this for a living. So like when I wake up with the push to go thrifting, like I just go, you know. If it's a busier day, I just kind of give myself an hour. I set a timer on my phone and see what I can find. And I found some really good things. So lots and lots to talk about, some cool vintage, some really cool like fall pieces, just some really interesting pieces as usual for my bins. I find the most off the wall stuff, I swear. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I'm Julia. That is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But with that being said, guys, it's a little bit late in the afternoon. It has been like rainy and chilly and gray all day. In fact, our power was out until about a half an hour ago, so I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to film today. So with all that said, we're kind of racing against daylight here. It does look like the sun might be trying to poke out, but we'll see. But with that being said, why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink. You know I've got my matcha latte. It's warm today because, as I mentioned before, it's chilly and rainy. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the goods. Real quick, I want to take a minute to thank Vendu for sponsoring this video. If you are looking for a way to double your sales without doubling your effort, you have to look no further than cross-listing. And using a cross-lister like Vendu makes cross-listing something that is easy to do. It requires very little additional effort above and beyond what you're already putting in selling on one platform. With just a few additional clicks, and honestly, it's only about 20 additional seconds from writing your actual listing, you can have your items listed on any one of the marketplaces that Vendu shares to. And they share to pretty much every marketplace you want to be on. I'm talking eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, Shopify, Etsy, Vinted, Vestiaire, Grailed, whatnot. And they're constantly working to make sure that their services get your items to the marketplaces that make sense for you. So back to that whole doubling your sales thing. When it came to my clothing reselling, I started selling on Poshmark, and then I decided to start cross-listing to other platforms. So I pulled the data for the last 2 years, and it turns out that Poshmark ended up accounting for less than 50% of my sales. So that means that if I had not cross-listed my items, I would have missed out on all of those sales. If you're already putting in the effort to create a listing on any platform that you're on, it really is an additional investment of about 20 seconds per listing to get it listed on multiple marketplaces. It just, like, why would you not be doing this? They're also consistently adding new features that take the busy work out of what we do. Things like sending offers to likers, things like refreshing your listings or sharing your listings on Poshmark. But most of all for me, it keeps my inventory tidy, it keeps my record keeping tidy. Add in the fact that when you sell an item on one of your marketplaces, their auto delist feature will automatically delist it from every other marketplace you've got it for sale on. It basically lets my business run on autopilot while I am out doing the things that are actually fun, sourcing and finding treasures in the thrift. So guys, you know how much I love Vendu. I've been using them forever. If you are cross-listing, if you are thinking about cross-listing, give them a try. If you are interested in getting started cross-listing, or if you're looking to give them a try, click the link in the description box down below and take 25% off of your first month. And as I say every time, guys, you will wonder why you have not done this sooner. So thanks again to Vendu for sponsoring this video. Their support helps me continue creating YouTube videos for you guys. But with that all being said, let's get back to the haul. So we are going to start with the pieces that I got at the thrift store. There's only 3 pieces, but 3 like great pieces. So let's get into it. The first thing I found was this Y2K vintage suede jacket. This is from Dollhouse. Anybody who's kind of around my age or was around during the early 2000s will remember that brand. I definitely had a Dollhouse skirt that was purple and had a little slit up the leg, and oh my god, I loved that skirt. That was like the skirt that I saved for really special nights. So this is a size extra large. It's in great condition. Again, like a light tan suede, zip front, kind of moto style. So For something like this, with it being Y2K vintage, I'll probably see somewhere between like $40 and $60 on it. Dollhouse wasn't like the highest end of line, so this is not by any means like the highest end leather, but with it being true vintage and with it being Dollhouse and with it being kind of a style that's popular right now and with it being a size extra large, it should sell fairly quickly, especially with it being fall right now. The next thing I found is this gorgeous little dress from Reformation. This is 100% linen. So it's just got like a square neckline, little spaghetti straps that are adjustable. It's got an open back. Of course, Reformation, if you are unfamiliar with the label, get familiar with that label. It's still a very, very, very solid brand to pick up. It's very expensive. It sells for a good portion of its retail price. I want to say that this was like $246 retail, and sold comps are between like $80 and $150 depending on size and color and all that. But this is in like flawless condition. It's midi length and it's got kind of a pencil silhouette skirt. It's even got little side stays on the side of this bodice to keep it upright and keep it smooth and flush to the body. So definitely a great find, and it's in like brand new condition. I'll guess that that was worn once for like a special occasion and then never worn again. And then finally, in contrast to the Dollhouse jacket being like not the nicest leather, this one I felt and I was like, oh my God, what is that? So this is another suede jacket. Absolutely the softest suede I think I've ever felt in my entire life. It's pretty lightweight, so it's got a lot of movement to it. It's got kind of like almost like a denim jacket styling to it. It is in basically brand new condition. The brand on this is Yargici. I'm sure I am butchering that. Yargici. And this is a brand out of Turkey. So they have the regular Yargici line. If there is anybody out there that speaks Turkish, please tell me how to pronounce this so I'm not like butchering this name. So they have their standard line and then they have their premium essentials line, which is significantly more expensive, and this falls into the premium essentials line. But this was just so stunning, and again, like brand new. This is the kind of thing that makes me wish I sold things like in person, because the feel of this is what is so special. I mean, it is just so soft, and it's a size 1, which I'm guessing is like a size small or a size medium, but either way, what a find. That retailed for, it looks like about 650 euros. And I'll probably see somewhere between $100 and $200 for that on the resale market. And I don't think it's something that's gonna sell because of the name, unless there's somebody that like knows that brand and is searching for it. Like I can imagine like anybody who knows, like knows. But I think that that'll sell just because of the style and the condition. But again, I just wish I could have that somewhere where people could touch it, because that would sell it. It's what sold it to me. So it is unbelievably soft. All right, now we are on to the bins. And we're gonna start this off with something. I've actually sold one of these in the past. This is from Hatch, which is a high-end like maternity wear line. And this is like a pointel knit, like featherweight jersey, right? So you can kind of see that pointel knit, and it's like a onesie, but there's no waist on it. This is something that like somebody would pretty much like wear around the house, or just kind of like with a little shacket over top of it. It is a size 3, which I would guess is a size large, and it is as soft as could be. It's got front patch pockets. The legs are wide leg. It looks like they are about ankle length, so a little bit shorter. I want to say that this probably retailed like $150, and I'll probably see somewhere between $30 to $40 on this. And again, it's in like great condition. This is the kind of thing that I would just live in if I could, you know, like just the softest cotton, flowy, nothing constrictive. This is everything I want in life. But keep your eyes out for Hatch. This is the label if you're not familiar. Really high-end stuff. I don't pick up a ton of maternity stuff, but when I find high-end labels like that, I certainly do. Next up, we've got a couple of jackets today. And this one I felt because I know what goose down feels like. You know what I'm saying? Like once you know, you know. And this is from a brand called System, which is like a streetwear brand out of Korea. I think their full name is like System 1990. And it's this white puffer down coat. It's like a nice thick puff. The tag is in Korean, so I'll see if I can figure out like what power down fill, because that is, you know, like a measure of the warmth. But I'd say that this is pretty dang thick. So this is definitely warm. This is built for very cold days. And then the hood is actually real fur trimmed, which, you know, again, if you see that in the bins, like pay attention, because fur trim on anything is extremely expensive. And of course, if it's something fur trimmed and in good condition, it is like moral imperative for me at least to keep that in rotation because of what it is. It's got a removable hood and generally in great condition. The only flaw in it is that the top button is a little bit ripped out. Like it still holds. And this is something that if you like take it to a tailor easily, this can be fixed. But if you're somebody who like never snaps that top button, this will like not even be a concern. But just a little tip for you guys, if you are shopping for a good down coat, or if you're sourcing and you're not super familiar with like performance outerwear, one of the things you can look at is you see the outside, it's got these baffles, right? It's stitched in. If you look on the inside of the jacket and you can see those same stitch lines, that means that there is literally a hole from the outside to the inside, and it will not keep the warmth nearly as well as something like this. Better down jackets in the world will have a smooth interior lining here, right? So this will ensure that the goose down is doing its job and keeping maximum warmth inside the jacket. If you're new to like Chicago or Minnesota, where it is like crisis level cold in the winter, just make sure when you're going out to buy your warm winter jacket that it has that smooth interior liner. You do not want any of that icy lake wind piercing through your jacket. Like spend the extra money because you need it. But anyway, this is a good little tell, even if you're outsourcing, to know if what you're holding is a really good quality piece or like a performance piece. But definitely a great little find. This retailed somewhere around $600 or $700. So again, somewhere probably between $100 and $150 on this. It is gorgeous. And if it was in flawless condition, it would probably be closer to like $200 to $250. Next up, a little Marc Jacobs, a little vintage Marc Jacobs piece. This is just like a little polo shirt. It's got this kind of cool bunched collar to it, little puff sleeves. This feels very like 2007 to me. 100% I wore stuff like this, but it's Marc Jacobs. Would have been a very, very expensive shirt. It is a size large. It's in great condition. I've never found anything like this from Marc Jacobs. I've never found a like streetwear piece from him. I have had a gown and that sold very, very well. It's been a few years since I sold that, but maybe somewhere between like 35 and 50 bucks on this. I'll have to do a little bit more research, see if I can find this exact thing, but it was just so cute and I had to pick it up. Next up, this is a little Y2K accessory, and I saw this label and I had to grab it. This is from Ralph Lauren Rugby. Now, Ralph Lauren Rugby came out in 2004, and somewhere around like 2005, 2006, they put out these Oxford shirts that had like, you know, the collars were meant to be flipped up because that's what we did at the moment. And underneath the collar, there was tie silk, and I was obsessed with these shirts, and they were expensive. I want to say that they were like 70 bucks, which was, you know, probably the equivalent of $115 today, right? Like they were pricey. I remember saving up my waitressing money to buy them, and I had two of them. I actually still have them because I love them so much. Do they fit? No. Will they maybe fit at some point again in my life? Fingers crossed, because I love them. I mean, it's so like over the top preppy. I love them. But anyway, like Ralph Lauren Rugby wasn't very long lived. I think it was only around for like 5 years, but it has a little bit of a cult following. It's just that like over the top kind of in your face prep. But keep your eyes out for that label. I mean, this is just a little scarf. It's like a little ticker stripe scarf. But these skinny scarves are coming back in. They're one of the accessories I considered putting in my roundup of Fashion Week. I don't think I've seen enough of them to call them a trend just yet, but like keep your eyes on that space, because I think we're gonna be seeing the return of like the accessory scarf, the accessory like long scarf. I think we're gonna see gauchos again too, which is truly upsetting. Next up, this is a little We the Free top. Again, the kind of thing I will pick up anytime I see it. Specifically, We the Free. This is like an oversized boxy t-shirt. It's a size small. I mean, easily. If it wasn't so short, this could easily fit like a large, extra large. But these kind of shirts, every time I see them, I pick them up. I always list them for about $32, and you would not believe the amount of times that they sell for $32. But typically I'll see between 20 and 25, and they usually sell very, very, very quickly. So I find these at the bins. They're an easy pickup for me. They're an easy flip. If you only have the regular Thrift available to you, I would probably put a cap on about $5 on this, just in case you have something like this that goes in like a bundle. You want to make sure that there's still meat on the bone for you. But yeah, I'd probably go up to about $5 on these, because I know that they're going to be a quick sale. They might go for higher than I'm anticipating. And again, they'll just be in and out of your hands really, really quickly. Especially something like this that's like a white, very on-trend silhouette right now. All right, next up. Now I'm anticipating a bunch of swimsuits to start showing up as the stores kind of clear out their swimsuit section. And I'll always snap them up. I'll snap up Good Swim all the time because they do start selling right around Christmas time for me, as people will start going south for vacation in the early winter. And of course, spring breaks, you know, start popping up in early March, honestly, especially when they're from great brands. This is Vitamin A swimwear. It is brand new with tags. It is a size extra large. Really pretty, like taupe background, floral, nice open back, halter neck. This is a very deep V. Sold comps on this swimsuit in particular seem very high. Like there are some that have sold as high as $100. Now this was probably a good $130 swimsuit. So I don't know, I have to do a little bit more digging into the sold portion of this to make sure that that is something kind of consistent, but I'll anticipate maybe somewhere $50 to $100. Seems crazy to say, but you never know what people are like really in hot pursuit of. And that is brand new with tags, so that helps. Next up, we have another coat, and this one is incredible and vintage. This is like a cream or a light tan, 1950s vintage wool coat. I wish I knew what kind of wool, but there's no internal label, but it is beautiful. It's about a size medium. It's double-breasted. It's about knee length, maybe just below knee. I'm pretty sure that this lining is silk. It feels like an absolute dream. And I wish you could see the condition that this is in. It's got the union tag on here. This is an easy way to determine if a piece that you're holding is vintage, if it's got the, I think it's the International Ladies Garment Worker Union label on it, and there are ways inside that label, if you just throw it into Google, to date it. This one is dated to between like 1950 and early 1960s, and this feels kind of like transitional of that period. This wool is in phenomenal condition. There's like the tiniest bit of wear starting to show on the peak of the collar here. There's like the tiniest bit of wear starting to show here, but you can almost guarantee that this was held in like a cedar closet for all these years. This jacket is 70 years old and it's in basically flawless condition. Like it's in such nice condition that I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up like being purchased for like a costume on like a period television show. But again, interior, I believe this is silk. It is so soft. And here is the label. Look at that. It's LC May, Lunata Bay, which I'm not quite sure what it is, and I haven't really been able to find much on it. And Loomed Luxury. It is at least a wool blend. This might be like a merino wool blend. It feels really luxe. It's got quite a bit of warmth to it. And again, a size medium. Just incredible. I'll probably see somewhere like $80 to $150 on this. This is something that I found at exactly the right time. You know, this is the kind of stuff that'll go like right before Christmas, especially something that's a little bit more glam than an everyday winter jacket, because people are going to want that for like holiday parties and Thanksgiving and stuff like that. You know, days where they're dressed up. This was an incredible find. Like I was floored. I was looking over that thing with a fine tooth comb trying to find any flaws, like if any of the lining was ripped or, you know, like a seam was pulled apart. It's like flawless. And you can tell that that internal stitching was like hand done. So I'm gonna guess that this was probably a custom made piece, like fit for somebody. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. Next up, this is so wrinkled, but I need to get this thing listed ASAP. I'm filming this on October 14th. So like, it's like 2 weeks to Halloween. And I wanna make sure that this is listed before then. But I have this Harry and Lloyd fantasy. So this is actually like a legit tuxedo jacket. This is not a costume piece. And it's this powder blue with like a navy blue satin accent, little navy blue trim hits. And I looked everywhere to see if the pants to this, because the brand on this is Giovanni Testi and they sell their tuxedos in sets. I don't think that they sell anything like this as just a blazer. And I couldn't find anything, but I could see somebody grabbing this and doing like a Dumb and Dumber costume, right? Like Harry and Lloyd with the orange and the powder blue tuxedos. Retail on this for this set was about $400. Again, Giovanni Testi. It looks like they're just like a local suit maker here in LA. It looks like they have a store at like the Topanga Mall, and I haven't been able to find much else about them. I haven't been able to find like another brick and mortar from them, but it's in great condition. Again, have to steam this out, but I'm probably gonna try to get this listed right after I film this because Halloween is right around the corner. So I'll probably see somewhere like maybe 30 to 50 bucks on that. And I would imagine that that'll go fairly quickly. Like there are always people looking for like novelty blazers, especially in the holiday season. Next up, I have this gorgeous men's sweater. I felt this before I saw it and I'm like, ooh, what is that? So this is a cardigan sweater. It's like definitely a chunky knit. Let me get you up close on that pattern there. Anybody who knits, feel free to drop what this pattern is in the comments because I have no idea. The brand on this is Slate and Stone and it is brand new with tags. Very expensive brand. I'm not quite sure if they're sold anywhere brick and mortar or if it's just like an online, like a direct to consumer situation. But this is almost like a sweater jacket. Like it's got that much heft to it. It's got a little bit of lining like to maybe halfway down the back. So at least your like back neck won't be irritated because that's gonna be like probably where the contact is the most. Nice chunky buttons. And it's a wool mohair blend and it's made in Italy. Just gorgeous. So I'm not quite sure what I'll see on this. There's not a ton of it on the market, but it is a good classic, you know, like heritage style. It's very like preppy and great for the holidays. So probably somewhere like 40, 50 bucks on that, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I've never sold that brand before, so I'm not quite sure. I don't have much data to compare it against, but if you have ever had any experience with it, let me know down below. I'm interested to hear what your experience has been. Next up, this stunning skirt. Now there is, you can see the remnants of a tag in here. And like this feels like Doen to me. And there's just nothing. I've tried Google image search. I've tried to do like a Google image search of a close-up of this tuckwork. Like look at that waistband. Isn't that beautiful? And it goes down, it's got eyelet, it's got inset lace, it is sheer. And the thing to me that kind of gets me, and please, if anybody knows who made this, let me know. The way that the waistband connects, so it's got the 3 pearl buttons and it's got like a full, you know, covered placket here on the inside. And then it's got little snaps like this. When you see little snaps like that, it just tells me that this is a high-end garment and I cannot find anything on it. Again, I've done Google image searches, but I got nothing. If it helps, that is the remnants of the tag. So it looks like there's some tan, maybe some black in there. Let me know if you've got a clue. Without a brand on this, I'll probably see like $25 on this. It might not sell until like spring just because this is so lightweight and white and all those things. Despite the fact that I can use like bridal and I can use all those kind of keywords on it. This is just a very springy, summery design. Hopefully I can figure out who made this because this work up top is just beautiful and it's very like precisely done. There's not a lot of like wavering stitch lines or anything like that. Like this is some beautiful work, but let me know if you've got a clue because I would love to know. This really does feel like Doen or like For Love and Lemons to me. Gorgeous. Next up, another little blazer here, and this is a linen blazer. Like this is linen jacquard. I don't know if the sheen is getting picked up very well in the camera here, but this looks almost like raw silk. It's really beautiful. And this is from J. Peterman, which I will laugh about every time I see. I know some of you guys have been around for a long time, but if you're new here, I thought that J. Peterman was something that the Seinfeld writers made up. And when I had started a new job, we're going back to like the mid 2000s, I started a new job and I took over for somebody. So I was of course getting their mail and I got the J. Peterman catalog and I was like, oh my God, this is real? And I'm opening it and the descriptions are as delightful as you can imagine. So from that moment on, I've always gotten the J. Peterman catalog, but I will never stop laughing anytime I see a piece from them. So if you are in need of a little whimsy in your life, go and sign up for the J. Peterman catalog because they're great. They're great. Anyway, this is a beautiful little like short blazer in this gorgeous linen jacquard. It's like a silver background with like ivory floral pattern. It is in flawless condition, size 8. Probably somewhere, again, like 40 or 50 bucks on this. J. Peterman stuff sells very, very well. Now, most of the J. Peterman stuff that I've found have been like their poet blouse or they're kind of like whimsical old-timey pieces. This is a little bit more like modern. So I'm interested to see how if this one does as well as like their deerstalker hat, you know, like that's the kind of stuff that they sell. So I'm interested to hear how it goes. If any of you guys have ever had like a more modern piece from J. Peterman, let me know how it went. I think we all know how those old-timey pieces do, but let me know if you have experience with anything that's a little bit more like of today's style. Next up, now something that is decidedly not of today's style, but certainly something that the kids today will want. This is a little mini skirt. It's kind of like this dark, it looks very purple in the camera, but it's like a dark navy purpley color. It's more navy in real life. But this is from, and girls about my age, you know, it's from Delia's. Oh my God. I used to get the Delia's catalog. I used to want everything in that catalog. I got nothing from that catalog. And I remember saving up once because they opened a Delia's store in our local mall, and I bought a pair of pajama pants like on sale. They must have been like, I don't know, $15. And I wore those pajama pants until they fell apart. They had little pineapples on them. But something like this, it's a size 11, so it's junior sizing. It's a decent size. I'll probably see like $25 to $35 on this, and I have no doubt it'll go pretty quickly. This is in like flawless condition. Keep your eyes out for that Y2K stuff, guys. It is in peak mass adoption right now, which means that you have the most amount of people looking for that kind of stuff online. Will it slow down in the next year or two? Most likely, but for right now, you still absolutely want to be sourcing it because demand and prices are at an absolute peak. Next up, now this is something, I saw this kind of sticking out of the bin and I'm like, ooh, what is that? So this is from Claire Pettibone, who is a bridal designer. And this is just like a little stretch lace chemise. This was probably part of a set of like little shorts and a tank top or little panties and a tank top. I couldn't find any other pieces, but this is in beautiful condition. It's a size medium. And this probably retailed, like if this little set probably retailed $300 or $400. Claire Pettibone is very, very high end. And this probably would have been sold at very high end bridal boutiques. And this is the kind of thing that you would have bought at like Kleinfeld's in New York, or maybe even like the Bergdorf's wedding salon. So really, really high-end designer. Keep your eyes out for it. That is the label. Again, very subtle and easy to miss. Now, for something like this, which has some like dual usage, right? Like I can see somebody wearing this with like cakes or like pasties and wearing it as just like a tank top out on the town. I'll probably see about 40, 50 bucks for this. It is just beautiful. The lace work is gorgeous. And that strap. Ugh, yes, please. Oh, next up, I found this little t-shirt right next to that big chunky navy blue sweater. It's the same brand, that Slate and Stone. This is a 100% linen t-shirt. So this is like a lightweight linen slub, chest pocket t-shirt, nothing super special other than the fact that it is linen jersey. This is a size small, great condition. Again, that kind of higher end brand. I'm interested to see how this does, but I would imagine that I'll probably get somewhere between $20 to $30 on this. Not even taking into consideration the brand, like probably just based on the fact that this is a navy blue linen slub t-shirt, I'll get somewhere between 20 and 30 bucks. But next up, speaking of linen knit, this is a beautiful linen sweater from Zadie, Zadie, I'm not quite sure how that is pronounced. Just a little basic black crew neck sweater, great condition. This was a very sustainable clothing brand. I don't think that they're around anymore, but very, very expensive. I'm not quite sure what I'll get on this. This was not necessarily something that I picked up for the brand. It just happens to be a decent brand. A linen crew neck lightweight sweater in like a classic cut is just always going to be something that I pick up. This is a size extra small, which might slow it down a little bit. It does look to be a nice, like kind of relaxed fit. Probably somewhere between like $30 to $50 on this. Again, I'm not sure if the name brand itself, despite it being like a high retail price, will drive the price of this up, but for a linen sweater, 30 to 50 bucks, that's generally like a pretty safe bracket to anticipate. But yeah, I will always pick up linen sweaters when I see them. They're just forever timeless and classic. Next up, we have something that I'm keeping for myself. This is a polo Ralph Lauren green and white striped shirt. You guys know I love like a menswear inspired button-down shirt. I love this green. It's a little bit more of like a clover green, so a little bit more of like a blue backed green, which is very much my style. I have a very similar one in a more like yellow green stripe that is from Lacoste, so I will be selling the Lacoste one and keeping this one. It's just a nice oversized men's shirt. I love that it's got that contrast purple pony. If I were to sell this, I would probably get somewhere between 20 and 30 bucks, and no doubt it would sell really quickly. But yeah, this one's mine, so not for sale. I do love a men's button-down shirt, man. Just always looks pulled together and so easy breezy to wear. Ah, this is so cool. So this is a suede skirt. So much suede this week, guys. 'Tis the season though. So this is a powder blue suede knee-length skirt. This is from Arden B, which I never shopped at. I remember seeing Arden B at the mall. I don't think that they're around anymore. If memory serves me right, they were owned by like Wet Seal, I think. So I'll guess that they were kind of like upmarket from Wet Seal. Like in my memory, if I was thinking about Arden B, I probably would have put like Arden B and like BB and like BCBG kind of in the same bracket. So like a little bit higher end, but not like crazy expensive. Either way, This baby blue color, still so hot right now. I could see this with like a chunky burgundy sweater, like a perfect little outfit. This is in really great condition. It's a size 1. I don't know if that is like a numerical size 1 or if that's size 1 in that it's a small. I think that this is like a size small. Just eyeballing this, this doesn't look like it's, you know, a 24-inch waist. So something like this is very much like a trend-based sourcing moment here. So the brand itself isn't necessarily gonna sell it. So leather skirts are usually a pretty easy sell for me. And I am like obsessed with this color. Next up, this is BCBG, but the reason I picked this up is because it is a lace turtleneck. We are in the lace season of our lives in fashion. It is all about that like non-traditional lace, unconventional lace. So lace in applications that you're not used to seeing it, bringing it out of the trim world, and a turtleneck, easy way to do it. So this is kind of more of like a mock neck. It doesn't fold over, and it does have like a button entry here in the back. It is a size medium. It's in great shape, and I like that it's got this little like stripe down the arm. Really kind of tough to see unless I put my hand in it. You know, so it's lace all around. It's that kind of like chantilly style lace, and then it's got a little bit of a stripe that goes down the outside of the arm. Gives it almost like a little bit of a sporty look, which kind of coincides with the like oversized track pant moment that's happening. Like I could see a fashion girl wearing this with very oversized like Adidas wide leg track pants. That would be a whole vibe. But something like this I'll probably see, you know, $20 to $30 on, depending on how well I can keyword it. But it is in flawless condition. But a perfect example of a style-based sourcing moment, because unless the item is like noticeably vintage, and I'm talking like I'm looking at the tag and I see the vintage BCBG tag, I'm generally not gonna touch it, but this I picked up because of the style. Next up, another menswear piece here. This one's from Rails, another good like basic. This is a cotton slub Henley shirt. Really just a simple, basic, gorgeous slub cotton. These elevated basics generally do very well for me. I like to find them from like James Purse and Theory. I've actually only ever found one other Rails piece, and I ended up giving it to my dad. It was like a nice linen button-down shirt. He loves it. So I figured I'd give this one a try. Again, somewhere probably 25 to 30 on this, with it being long sleeve. If it was short sleeve, it would probably be more in like the $20 range. Rails is one of those brands, if you're unfamiliar with the label, Rails is one of those brands that is like shockingly expensive. Like this was probably $150 or $160 retail. So really high-end materials, really just gorgeous high-end basics. Good find. I'm interested to see how that does. Next up, this is from Madewell. Now, you guys know that I'm very, very selective with what I pick up from Madewell. Generally, I'm only gonna pick up something from the last couple of years, and it's gonna be very style-based, but this I just thought was so beautiful. So this is, I think the name of this is like the wide V-neck dress, and it's Cupro with this beautiful floral pattern. It is midi length, it's got a slit up the leg, and the thing I like about it is it's got that like 1920s style like peaked empire waist, which I just think is so flattering on a cut like this. It's really, really beautiful. Side zip, flawless condition. Pretty sure that this is brand new, and it's a size 8. So sold comps on this one are between like $40 and $75. So I'll anticipate somewhere in that range. Again, this is a good kind of coming up into the party season dress. This would be a good like wedding guest dress. So I would use that as a tag, you know, party dress, casual dress, floral, romantic, a little bit of like dark academia as well, a little retro style as well. So this was an exciting one to find. It's funny, I'm looking at this on the monitor and it looks so much cheaper in the camera than it does in person. Cupro has a little bit of a sheen to it, and it's got very bright lights coming at it, but in my hand it feels like silk. So beautiful. They do call that vegan silk. If memory serves me right, it's made from like the scraps of the cotton production process. It is a viscose textile. It's like a cellulose based textile. So if you have anything that's Cupro, guys, cold water only, no heat, ever. Next up, beautiful pair of pants from Poetry. Now this is one of those brands that has like, there's 2 different brands named Poetry. One is like a cheap boutique brand, and one is a higher end kind of like organic women's wear brand, and this is the organic women's wear brand. These are not quite joggers, they just kind of tip in a little bit at the ankle. They're not tight, but this is the higher end Poetry. label. So it'll be like a cream background with that like sans serif font. So commit that to memory. You will probably see much more of the cheaper poetry while you are outsourcing. I've only found a few pieces of this, but they've all sold quite well. They're a little bit in that like log and look, art to wear, very like organic tunic, you know, kind of blousey pant world. These are a size 18, again, probably retailed for like $180. And I'll probably see like between $30 and $40 on these. They have a real cult following and their stuff is beautiful. This is again, 80% linen, 20% cotton. And a lot of their stuff is linen or silk. And a lot of their stuff is linen. That's kind of what they do best. So I love finding that brand and I just don't find it nearly enough. Next up, a little out of season, but I don't really care. These are from Marine Layer. This is a pair of terry cloth shorts. Again, something that if they don't sell soon, they will sell probably around the spring break season. This is like a great pair of cover-up shorts. I think there was also a matching like cabana shirt that went with this, but they're a super soft terry cloth. That is the label you're looking for if you're unfamiliar with it. This brand sells very, very quickly for me. Definitely like a cult following. They're all about just like softness, but this I think is called the Cloud 9 Terry Shorts. I like the fact that their side vent is a little like on the higher side. It's a good length, high-waisted, really, really comfy. These I think retail for like $58 and I'll probably see $20, $25 on the resale market. We are getting there, guys. All right, next up, this was something that I picked up because I'm like, ooh, that's nice silk. So it's like a tunic. It's gray background with this blue, kind of almost like, I don't know what I would call this pattern. It looks like bark to me, but there's no internal tags on it. But again, it's like a beautiful silk tunic. It's beautifully finished, like the details are gorgeous. And I did a Google image search and turns out that it is Citron. Now, I've never, despite the fact that it's Citron Santa Monica and Santa Monica is right up the street, I've never found anything from them. And I found 2 pieces today, so a little bit of spoilers, but I thought that this was beautiful. It's got, again, no internal tagging whatsoever, so it is about, I guess, a size medium, depending on how you like to wear your tunics. I'll just make sure that I put like measurements on there for anybody who is looking to purchase it, but definitely a good find. I'm not quite sure what I'll get for it. It looks like a lot of Citron sold comps are between like $30 and $45, depending on what they are. Some are much higher, some are lower, but I'm assuming that those are probably like live sales or big bundles or whatever, but great little find in great condition. And then here is the second piece that I found from Citron. And this one did have its label in it. You want to keep your eyes out for it. Obviously, it sounds like the plus size pieces from Citron sell a little bit better. It looks like you do a lot of, again, that kind of like art to wear, very like boho, flowy type stuff. This is just like a little silk sleeveless shell. It's size medium, beautiful condition. This feels brand new. I don't know if it's vintage or not. I'm not super familiar with their tags, but again, you know, probably somewhere $30, $35 on this. It is beautiful, this like gorgeous sage green. Next up, another silk piece. This is vintage Victoria's Secret. This feels very like early bombshell era to me. This is probably like late 90s, early 2000s. It's silk. It's got this silver embroidery along the neckline. It's a little bit more of a fitted bodice. It's not quite the baby doll. This feels to me, again, a little bit more of that like 90s grunge. It's in great condition other than the seam coming out a little bit here on the sleeve, but I don't think that'll stop it from selling. It will lower the price for sure, but I could imagine somebody's gonna wear this under like a jacket or under something, especially with it being winter right now. But I'll probably see $20, $25 on this. Whereas if this was in like flawless condition, I would probably see closer to like $30, $35. But yeah, I'm always gonna be keeping my eyes out for little silk camisoles, especially if it's vintage Victoria's Secret. Those are the kind of things you should feel very, very comfortable paying up for if you are sourcing at a regular thrift store. 3 to go here, and this is something that I picked up because I felt the quality of it. This is a pair of men's pants. And I think that these are cotton twill. Like the surface of the cotton twill almost feels like very like short pile velvet. Almost like, is it like moleskin that feels like this? The brand on this is Incotex, which is a super high-end menswear company. They do a lot of pants just like this. I mean, these things are like overbuilt. I don't know how else to describe that. Like there is just so many like additional bar tacks, double stitching, like additional layers. There's a little hidden pocket here in the waistband. This is a size 30 pant, which, you know, it's funny. I do sell these quite well. And I think it's just because there's not a lot of them on the secondhand market. There's just not a lot of them made, but that is the label you are looking for. These were like $300 or $400 new. They're like a straight slim leg pant in like fantastic condition. So I'll see sold comps on Incotex pants are between like $80 and $150 depending on what they are. But this, like for right now, this feels so like of the season, this brown, it's almost like a suede-y feel to it. It feels very like a Ralph Lauren Christmas that everybody's supposedly having this year. It feels very old money, heritage, town and country, and obviously built to last. Next up, now can I resist a granny sweater with this level of pattern on the front? I don't think so. Look at that. This is all knit. This is like a little seaside village scene. There's like a yacht right there. There's a cruise ship in the background there. You got birds in the sky. You've got houses in the village. You've got waves. You've got like kitchen sink. This has everything. This is vintage from Crystal Kobe. It's 55% Ramie. I still don't know how to say that if I'm saying it right, but that is the label. If you're unfamiliar, Ramie is like a, it's a very similar fabric. So in feel, in hand feel and in weight to linen. It's a similar fiber. So it always has that kind of feel to it. But I mean, like I can't leave this behind. You know, something like this, I'll probably see somewhere between like 25 and 40 bucks. I just had a moment. I'm like, am I seeing a castle on the hill there? No, that's just like a little cottage. But it is, I mean, so adorable. And there's a lot of people out there that really like this kind of granny core stuff. So it might be something that a lot of people leave behind, but this is the kind of stuff you can find in thrift stores all over the country. These kind of novelty sweaters. I also like the like denim shirts that have embroidery on them that are very themed. Like those kind of things sell for me so quickly. So I would give them a try. If you are hesitant to pick them up, give them a try, see if they sell fast for you, because they sell so fast for me. And I don't think it's because I have a strong following of people that like them. I think they are just in demand. So ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And finally, this is a label I've never gotten my hands on before. This is Mara Hoffman. So Mara Hoffman, I don't think she designs anymore, unfortunately. She, again, did really high-end sustainable fashion. This is from Mara Hoffman Swim, and this is like a very deep V. That's the front. It's a deep V jumpsuit. It's wide leg in perfect condition. It's this cotton, it's this really interesting cotton. I want you to get up close to that fabric. So it's got a little bit of a pucker, almost like a seersucker, but it's like a window pane plaid. It's very subtle. It's like a tan and cream plaid. It's gorgeous and summery. And even though jumpsuits as a whole have kind of come down in popularity, things like this I do not think have. Again, talk about the perfect thing to throw on over your bathing suit and go out to dinner in, right? This is just so chic. And I want to say probably retailed around $400. This jumpsuit, I can't remember the name of it. I have it in my spreadsheet. I'll put it down on the screen. I want to say sold comps on this jumpsuit are again between $80 and $150. So somewhere in that mix, I would imagine. Again, maybe something that won't necessarily sell just yet, but probably as we get just on the other side of Christmas and people start planning those like early winter and spring break and summer vacations, this will be snapped up. It is gorgeous, and I want to find all the things from her just going by the way that this feels. This is just such a unique piece and beautifully made. So very excited to get my hands on one. But guys, that is it. That is the haul for today. Again, pretty decent day. I mean, I didn't have a huge volume of things, but some very big ticket items. Lots of suede, beautiful vintage, gorgeous designer. Like this was a good one. Again, it was still pretty busy and I was really kind of fighting for my life in there, but super pleased with the stuff that I got. I want to say that I've got somewhere between like $1,200 and $1,400 in sales here, depending on what some of these, you know, bigger ticket items will go for. So definitely a good day. But guys, I hope you had fun. If you did, please consider leaving a like or a comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey, but without further ado, guys, I hope you have the most beautiful week. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.